Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Cherish, Live, and Dream. I am your host, Yaya.
And I am your host, Jay.
And we are your hope dealers. Listen, this week, guys, we have a special treat. We have actor, Guy Lockard with us. You know him as Dylan, Dr. Dylan Scott on NBC's hit medical drama, Chicago Med. And so he took time out of his busy schedule. As you can see, he is not only a doctor, he not only plays a doctor, but he has other roles in his life that he plays. But we're going to get right into it. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for having me. How y'all doing?
Good. Listen, thank you for accepting our invitation. This is awesome. Let's get into this because I know you're busy. So listen. You are now on Chicago Med, like the Chicago Med.
Chicago Med.
So tell us how you landed the role.
So the full story is that right before the pandemic in February 2020, I did an episode of Chicago Fire where I played a gentleman who was leading a protest because they had shut down a fire station in the hood that he kind of represented. And so he tied himself to between two fire trucks, and it was this big, episode with, I think at the time they told me it was the most amount of background actors they had hired in one day. It was like this big protest episode. And we did that episode and it played over well because little did we know during the pandemic, we had the George Floyd protests and all the things that nobody could have ever seen coming. So naturally that episode was very popular when it was released during that time. Fast forward to July of last year, I get an audition for Dylan Scott. I think at the time his name was Dylan Lewis when I got the script initially or something like that. And the director of my Chicago Fire episode had been hired to be one of the executive producers of Chicago Med. And as soon as my take came in, she pulled it and was like, "Oh, Guy, like we work together. I know he's going to be great." And I got the job, and within maybe a week of auditioning, sending in my audition tape for Dylan, my lawyer negotiated a contract, and I was in Chicago within a week starting. It was quick. Yeah.
Oh wow, so I'm just tongue-tied, which is never something that happens because this journey for you has been a journey, I can imagine. And so
for a long time. So you see my journey. All that hustle and all them auditions, and you've been there for a minute. So I know you know.
Yeah. So when you got the role as Dr. Dylan Scott, I was like, yes.
Thank you, baby.
But it's the beginning of many, I know, because you are an awesome actor and you sing. So are we gonna have Dr. Dylan Scott sing?
You know what? I sing on set all the time. You know I'm crazy. I be coming on set hollering and singing and making jokes and lighting it up. I'm a jokester. So when they didn't know I sang at first, and when the producers found out I did, they asked me would I mind, because they had some episodes, just more, it gave them some ideas. So it's possible this upcoming season and future seasons, you might see me bust a few on the set. Doctor's Lounge. Yeah.
Have a little singing in the ER, getting the patients right. So listen, there was the scene, and it just had me like, oh my God, he is a doctor in real life, but on TV, but in real life. When you were trying to de-escalate, well, you actually did de-escalate the guy that had schizophrenia. Well, actually, I think he was misdiagnosed, as we found out later on the show. But anyway, so it was during the time where, a lot of that stuff was happening in real life. And when I say you nailed that, I was crying like, oh my gosh, you nailed that role. Like, I didn't think that it was on TV. Like, I feel like I was there in real life. And so
well,
in order for you, in order for you to do that, did you reflect on your real life, not your real life, but what was going on in real life, your emotions? Like what did you need to do in order to bring that role or that part particularly home for the people?
You know, as a Black man in this country, especially, I've seen no shortage of kind of disparities in a lot of areas, but particularly in medicine. I was raised predominantly by beautiful, strong Black women, and I've personally witnessed my aunties, my cousins, my friends be misdiagnosed or mistreated or doomed to not be in as much pain as they say they're in, from everything from thyroids to fibroids to, you know, all of the things that a lot of women, but particularly Black women, deal with. And so it was, I won't say it was easy, but I had a lot of material to draw from, just understanding really through the whole season. Whenever we dealt with that kind of thing, we dealt with it in several episodes, just kind of that misdiagnosis or, you know, almost mistreatment of Black people in the medical community. But with that particular episode, my nephew has, you know, some special needs, and he has a cochlear implant, and among other things. And when he was young and unable to express himself, he would get frustrated like any of us, only he wasn't able to express it with words. So he would act out when he was very young. And in that episode, a lot of what I thought of to get there was him, because I love him dearly. And I remember what it was like to see people kind of give him looks because he's at a certain age and doesn't know how to use round words on how to, you know, express what he's feeling. And so he acts out, or maybe he threw what looked to be tantrums, and they would look at him like he's crazy. And it would just, you know, it makes me emotional even thinking about it, because again, imagine not being able to express yourself and seeing something that nobody else can see. I believe, and this particular character wasn't necessarily dealing with autism, but I believe some autistic kids, I believe they see the angels, you know, that we can't see. And I believe them to be, they're very intelligent people, like super intelligent actually. And so, yeah, I drew on my nephew. I drew on all the times that my mom had to get a second and third opinion for stuff where, you know, her feminine issues, because some of these doctors didn't take the time or didn't have the experience to deal with the Black woman, and just didn't care. And obviously, you know, with police, when they drew the guns on the young man, even though they were prop guns, everybody that was kind of moved because of the times we're in and how real it felt to be in that situation. Because as we know, Yesenia used to live in New York. A lot of times, you know, a lot of people just need mental illness assistance. It's not, you know, they send the police because that's the only resource they have to send, unfortunately. And those guys aren't trained to deal with people who are on the spectrum, who have schizophrenia, or who are just having a mental break. And it's very human to have those things. And so it was really, again, not want to say easy, but tapping into that, it came naturally, just thinking of that, absorbing that. And on set, even the background actors, the cameramen, that was probably our most special episode to film. Everybody was in tears, including the cameramen who were filming, because we just were in, you know. First time I ever got a standing ovation at the end of a scene.
Oh, wow.
And not just for all three actors, the mother, the son, and me. Everybody on set just was clapping for like a long time. And I've never, you know, they see us act every day. They ain't clapping for us on set. They ready to go home, you know? So it was, you know, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. So you have something for Guy?
I don't know. I'm just like, I can't believe I'm talking to him. Because I see him on the show all the time. And I just.
And now he driving you truck with my little sis over here, Samara Brown.
Hey!
So a familiar face from NBC. She was on The Voice this past season or the one before.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was on The Voice. She sang it down, man. You talk about singing.
All right,
Look, she want to give the people a little something right now. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, come on. Wait a minute. Let's do it.
Boy, she better drive this truck on these Brooklyn.
I don't want to steal your spotlight.
You can't steal my spotlight, baby. You ain't got to worry about that.
Listen, speaking of the spotlight, okay, Guy, now that you are Dr. Dylan Scott, is it hard for you to be Guy in the streets now?
Well, you know me well enough to know that ain't never going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But
they want to speak on your behalf.
Me all day. But I will say, I won't say it's hard. It's beautiful. It's different. It takes some adjustment, you know, walking out of the house and, you know, a lot of people notice you. We average, I think, 7 million viewers a week. We are number one on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And because of that, a lot of people see the show. You know what I'm saying? And, but I'm forgetting, it was season 7 going into season 8. And so, you know, all of that considered, there's very few days now that go by that I don't get recognized frequently in public. And most people are really cool, I think, because of the nature of the show and the character. He's kind of lovable, have a gentle approach. But there are some, you know, if people get excited and they get to grabbing you and it's really tough to get used to because I'm very private, as you know, and protect my loved ones. And, you know, I was at a game, I was at a Bulls game actually. And as I was leaving, you know, the end of the game, you leaving the stadium, people been drinking and cheering that. And that's that big crowd just trying to get out of the stadium at the same time with some of my homies. And we getting out and somebody grabbed me. I mean, to the point I thought, you know, I squared up. I thought we was in a fight. I didn't know what happened. I just, in all my...
The DMV didn't come out and you did it.
And what? And it was for people surrounding me, and I thought, I was like, yo, we about to get jumped, like, because you know, nobody. Well, I can't speak for other people. I don't walk around every day like I'm Dr. Dylan Scott, like I'm God, like I be chilling. Half the time I forget. I don't forget I'm on the show, but it's not this aware, like, oh, somebody might see me today, or you know, I'm going about my life, and so I square up. And he's like, no, love you, God. You know, a lot of people call me Dylan. God, blah, 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 yada, yada. And I told her, hey, man, I'm going to take a picture, but you can't be grabbing nobody like that, man. I'm sorry, I got so excited. And so what I've learned, it is really exciting. The fans, nobody can complain about the love, right? Like, you know, love ain't perfect, right? But it's love. And I thank the writers for the character that they wrote because I think I got an opportunity to really put a spotlight on how beautiful Black people are, how intelligent we are, how loving we are. And a lot of people have seen that. And what I love, what touches my heart, is when I see people of all races be proud of that and speak to that. Like, man, you really doing it, man. You making us look good. You look good, dog. And Black people be proud. And that feels good. You know, they be proud. The aunties, the little kids. You know how many little kids that came up to me talking about they want to be a doctor? Like,
oh, that's so sweet.
You know, and ain't nobody, I mean, I'm not the first Black doctor on TV. I'm actually part of a lexicon of amazing actors that have played doctors. Michael Gerard Warner included, who's on a different network than I am doing it. But that's big for me, man. That's...
Listen, guys, speaking of you being private and love, that episode, I had to close my eyes. I put my hands over my eyes because I couldn't take it.
I've been grown since you know me, you see what you talking about.
You up there kissing. I said, I'm gonna have to talk to Dick Wolf. And the writers of this show.
Riley is amazing. I love her. I got a million stories for you. So Riley Bokel, she's famous. I mean, she's been on a million other shows and has a huge following. And when they told me she was coming in, I was like, okay. and she came in, and you would have thought she'd have been there for 5 seasons. She was chilling, and it was actually my first legitimate on-screen kiss. I had one in another show that I did a couple years ago, but it was a peck, and it wasn't planned. They threw it in last minute, but it wasn't at all like that. That was literally my first on-screen kiss. And so one of my best friends is Gabrielle Dennis. She's on the Black Lady Sketch Show. She also played Whitney Houston in a Bobby Brown movie, if you're familiar with her. She's Janae on the Game, which everybody hates.
Yeah. When I met her years ago, she's just so humble.
She's chilling. Yeah, that's my sis. Like she's more chill than me. But I asked her, I called her, I said, gee, what, I'm about to kiss this girl. I just want to make sure, especially in the era we in, that I'm respectful and that I do all the things, because she's a guest star. So she's a guest to my set, and I want to make her comfortable. So is there anything specific you suggest that I approach as we approach this scene, And she was like, oh, just be a gentleman and make sure also, she was like, make sure you feel comfortable too. It ain't just about her, So I went and I told her, hey, Riley, good morning, Bob. We in the makeup room, getting makeup done, talking our trash. We talking in the morning, just getting revved up for the day. And she's in one chair, I'm in the other. I'm like, yeah, so, we got to do this thing today. Let me know, I make sure I brush my teeth. As she sat over there and ate a burrito with onions in it, by the way. Tearing up a breakfast burrito with red onions. And I was like, okay, that's how you going, all right. So, but they give us these mint drops, so it's cool. And she was like, bro, just do it. I was like, you sure? I ain't gonna put my tongue down your throat. She's like, just kiss me. Let's just kiss. Like, we'll figure it out. I trust you. You good people. And the first take, which they didn't show, obviously, I was nervous because I just had never done it on camera. And, it's awkward to be passionately kissing somebody who you just met. A room full of people. It's about 100-something people behind that camera when they film it. No matter if it's 2 people on screen, it's at least 100 people staring right at you while you're filming your intimate scenes. Wow. Then another 100 people looking on monitors in LA, everywhere from LA to, you know what I mean? It's like a 400. So, it ain't the most modest situation. But we went for it, and she kind of pulled me in because I was, I don't know, I'd be so nervous. I don't want nobody to think am I going too hard? It's not, I was in my head, and she opened that floodgates, and then we started getting it in to the point where the creators of the show asked me, did you and Riley know each other before? Are y'all friends? It's like, nah, I just met her when y'all hired her. He's like, y'all smoking, like the way y'all kiss? And I was like, for real? She's like, yeah, we thought we figured our old friends, maybe even dated before. Like they really, they thought that we had a relationship. So it must have worked out.
Oh, it did, because y'all had several intense scenes of kissing.
I could see the chemistry during the show.
Because I was like, maybe they got something going on set.
He's like, no, it's just acting.
But listen, guys, we're not gonna hold you up because we know you out there doing, I don't know what you said you were doing, driving your truck, helping folks move in the community. He's a philanthropist also, people. Now, but listen, every episode, I feel like I need to go into Baghdad. It's between me and is it Dr. Stevie? I cry every episode, and she cries on every episode. So listen, you are doing a fabulous job. You are a great actor, fabulous person on show. And for those who know you offset, fabulous, humble. It's almost like on, because I knew you before this life that we now know you as now. It's like you've married both. And like when I watch the show, I see Dr. Dylan Scott, but I also see aspects of Guy. So that is awesome. And tell your mama she did a good job. Because I know you love your mama.
So excited, man. You think she was on TV the way she be cutting up.
Aww. Yeah. So listen, Jay, you got any final thoughts?
Will you ever be crossing over to Chicago PD?
She got a thing for, what's his name?
Royce. He is Roy. Is it Royce? That's his real name. Royce. I'm sorry.
Royce. Not Royce.
Love Royce.
Well, they already had a crossover.
Yeah, but have you crossed over?
Oh, you mean onto Chicago?
Yeah, can you let him know that we said hello?
There've been some talks. You know, I ain't really allowed to say too much of nothing, but there's some stuff gonna happen. Yeah.
Well, tell him we said hi. If
Said
you
hi.
see him, tell him Jay says hello.
Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for this opportunity. Know you had a busy schedule today, and I'm glad you was able to get us in. And just much success to you. I know this is the beginning of just everything for you. And so love you. Thank you. Be safe out there. Don't break your back, because you know you got to bring us the heat in season 8. So be careful out there moving stuff, okay? All right. Well, have a good week.
Thanks again.
And thank you.
Hi, y'all.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.